So every year in the United States, there are approximately 350,000 out-of-hospital cardiac arrests. So out of those 350,000 cardiac arrests that happen annually in the United States, that equals more than 1,000 daily that happen nationwide, okay? If gone unwitnessed, the survival rates nationwide are a mere 10%. It's pretty grim and not very inspiring. When they are witnessed, those rates climb to approximately 35%. We are proud to say that within the city of Richland, if you fall victim to cardiac arrest, it's witnessed with bystander intervention and a shockable rhythm upon our arrival. Those statistics climb and they produce double 66.7%. So we're proud of that. However, we've also recognized that that number has much room for improvement. And so what we've done is we've taken a look at what the American Heart Association describes as the chain of survival, okay? When somebody falls victim to cardiac arrest, there are many things that need to happen. But first and foremost, recognition and activation of 911. Secondly, early and immediate high-quality CPR. Third, if there's an automated external defibrillator available or an AED, defibrillation needs to happen. And then we come into play. The paramedics, the EMTs arrive, provide advanced cardiac life support. And then lastly, post-resuscitative care at the hospital. Something special about this chain of survival, though, if you recognize it, 3 of the links out of the 5-link chain deal with the layperson or bystander. And so what we've recognized, if we want to increase our survival rates to 80–90% in cardiac arrest, we really need to focus on educating and training the bystanders. Something we launched in June here in the city of Richland is Heart Safe Richland. It's a public education initiative that focuses on 4 main areas: emotional preparedness, hands-only CPR, the use of an AED prior to our arrival, and then how do we get AEDs more accessible in our community? Those 4 areas are hopefully going to help us increase our cardiac arrest survival rates above that 66th percentile. Today, we're going to see coins given to both the rescuer and the cardiac arrest survivors. The rescuer coin paints a great picture, and it really inspires us as rescuers to work hard, knowing that these coins are a great reminder of our hard work and effort in preparing to treat our cardiac arrest survival patients. It pays off. The survivor coins are a great reminder of just how special of a day this is for those survivors. And more importantly, it paints a great picture for those of us here today and out in the community to see that, you know what, cardiac arrest does not need to be this scenario that feels like a death wish for anybody that experiences it. However, it's actually a hope-filled event. When everybody involved participates and acts, it's actually hope-filled because we have a high likelihood that we can help those patients survive. Going back to the chain of survival. So CCOM, or Southeast Communications, is our local 911 center. They dispatch for all emergencies within Benton and Franklin County. When we encourage our bystanders to recognize and activate 911, these are the first people that they speak to, okay? And without a high-quality 911 system, those bystanders oftentimes are overcome by their emotions and cannot provide care appropriately. But because of the high standards and the dedication to service that CCOM has in Benton and Franklin County, they're able to provide telecommunications CPR, break the chaos, and instruct those bystanders how to do hands-on compressions, exactly what we know saves people's lives. And so through that chaos, they can break into them and they can allow them to provide high-quality care. So today what we'd like to do is we have 2 representatives from CCOM that we'd like to recognize because they've been involved in a couple of instances just recently that have resulted in saves. So if we could have Dee Maynard and Patrick Wick come up to the front here. So without further ado, we're going to get into the 10 cases that we're going to recognize today. And at this time, I'd like to recognize and welcome up Captain and Medical Officer Michael Van Beek.
All right, thank you, Josh, and thank you to everyone who came out today to help us celebrate this chain of survival. We have 10 cardiac arrest survivors that we are going to honor today. 5 of those survivors happen to be present with us, and we're thankful that they're able to attend. The cardiac arrest that we are honoring started January of 2018 and through July of 2019, so that's a time period that we're going to honor these survivors. When I read your name, please come forward, and if we could hold all applause till the end and we can give one big congratulations, that would be great. So without further ado, here we go. On January 27th, 2018, Medic 1723, Medic 1721, and Battalion Chiefs 171 were dispatched to a private residence for a cardiac arrest. Our survivor, Shannon Hinton, suddenly became ill and didn't feel well. Shannon went unconscious in front of her husband, who initiated the call to 911. Our crews found Shannon in cardiac arrest. Crews initiated CPR, and they were able to defibrillate her heart into an organized rhythm. Once her heart was beating again, crews determined that Shannon was suffering from a heart attack. Shannon was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where she received definitive care. So please, from Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Brian Bowe, Chris Denny, Bob Grubenhoff, James Hempstead, Scott Hansen, Dave Pemberton, and Zach Wallace. If you guys could come up front, that'd be great. If you guys just want to stand over there, that'd be great. And then we would also like to welcome our survivor, Shannon Hinton, our next survivor. On January 29, 2018, Medic 1722, Medic 1724, and Battalion Chief 171 were dispatched to a private residence for a male in cardiac arrest. Our survivor, Jim Rodriguez, was having some chest pain and difficulty breathing. He then went unconscious in front of his wife, Annabelle. Annabelle called 911 and initiated CPR. Our crews arrived and found Jim in cardiac arrest. Crews took over CPR, and they were able to defibrillate his heart into an organized rhythm. Once his heart was beating again, Jim was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where he received the definitive care that he needed. So as I call your name, if you could come forward, we'll start with our lay rescuer, Annabelle Rodriguez, Scott Brines, Jennifer Dawson, Tim Estelle, Brenda Rogers, Joe DeRossi, Zach Hannibal, and Josh Jordan. Please come forward. And a big round of applause for our survivor, Jim Rodriguez. On January 31st, 2018, Medic 1724 was dispatched to Gold's Gym for a seizure. Our survivor, Cindy Bell, had been having heaviness in her chest since the day before. Cindy thought she was battling a chest cold and went to the gym in hopes of making herself feel better. Cindy was riding an exercise bike when she clenched her chest and then went unconscious. Our lay rescuers, Mindy Parker and Jose Tolentino, were able to initiate CPR and bring an automated external defibrillator. The AED recognized the shockable rhythm, and they shocked Cindy's heart back into an organized rhythm. Cindy actually became awake after this and was talking when EMS arrived. Cindy was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center. During the transport to the hospital, Cindy went into cardiac arrest again, and her heart was defibrillated back into an organized rhythm. Once at Cadlick, Cindy was able to receive the care she needed and was discharged after 3 days. So please join me in recognizing the lay rescuers, Mindy Parker and Jose Tolentino, and from Richland Fire, Ryan Berkheimer, Ken Beekler, and James Stovall. Please come forward. On January 23, 2019, Medic 1724 and Battalion Chief 171 were dispatched to a Richland business for a cardiac arrest with CPR in progress. Our crews arrived and found our survivor in cardiac arrest. Crews took over CPR, and they were able to defibrillate his heart back into an organized rhythm. Our survivor was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where he made a full recovery. Our survivor was not able to join us today, but we would like to recognize the EMS providers for the role that they played in the chain of survival. So as I read your name, if you could come forward from Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Kurt Walsh, Damon Bryan, John Ottenbright, James Stovall, and Keith Ramsey. On May 5th, 2019, Medic 1723, Medic 1721, and Battalion Chief 171 were dispatched to a private residence for a cardiac arrest with CPR in progress. Our survivor, Philip Daling, was having chest pain prior to collapsing. He then went unconscious. 911 was called, and David Daling, Philip's son, initiated CPR. Our crews arrived and found Philip in cardiac arrest. Our crews took over CPR, and on the 10th defibrillation, his heart converted into an organized rhythm. Our crews then determined that Philip was suffering from a heart attack that caused his cardiac arrest. Philip was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where he went to the cath lab and received a cardiac stent in an artery that was 100% blocked. So please join me in honoring the lay rescuer David Daling, along with Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Kurt Walsh, Mike Emmerich, Brian Bowe, Raul Mariquin, Pete Zakowski, Noah Bowen, and Joe Owens. And then another big round of applause for our survivor, Philip Daling. On May 17th, 2019, Medic 1723, Medic 1721, and Battalion Chief 171 were dispatched to a Richland business for a cardiac arrest with CPR in progress. Our crews arrived and found our survivor in cardiac arrest, with CPR being done by a lay rescuer. Crews took over CPR, and they were able to defibrillate his heart into an organized rhythm with a heartbeat. Our survivor was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where he made a full recovery. Our survivor was not able to join us today, but we would like to recognize the EMS crew for the role they played in the chain of survival. So please, as I read your name, come up. If we could welcome from Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Josh Smith, Joe Owens, myself, Mike Ruley, Randy Ost, Ryan Spencer, and Colin McCabe. On May 22nd, 2019, Medic 1722 was dispatched to a local Richland restaurant for a patient with a medical problem. Our survivor, Dale Hurling, was conscious when EMS arrived. Dale wanted to walk outside to get out of the restaurant. Just as he exited the building, he collapsed in cardiac arrest. The EMS crew was escorting him out and was able to catch Dale and lower him to the ground safely. Our crews initiated CPR and advanced cardiac life support. Dale was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where they were able to get a heart rhythm back. This incident is kind of special in the fact that there were two different agencies on this call, Richland Fire and Kennewick Fire. So this just shows another great example of regional collaboration, and we're thankful for our partners in our other cities out there. So please join me in welcoming from Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Dave Roney, Josh Croshaw, Phoebe Markley, and Ron Duncan. And then from the Kennewick Fire Department, Matt Gow, Jeff Grutzmacher, and Chad Blashill. And then a big round of applause for our survivor, Dale Hurling. On June 6, 2019, Medic 1723 was dispatched to a private residence for a female with breathing difficulty. While crews were en route, the incident was upgraded to CPR in progress. Medic 1722 was dispatched to assist. Our crews arrived and found our survivor in cardiac arrest. Crews took over CPR from a family member and initiated advanced life support. After 4 minutes of CPR, crews were able to get a heartbeat back. Our survivor was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where she received the definitive care that she needed. Our survivor was not able to attend with us today, but we would like to recognize those involved in the chain of survival. So please welcome from Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Dave Pemberton, Zach Wallace, Scott Clemenson, Josh Smith, Scott Brines, Jen Dawson, Mike Emmerich, and Joe Owens. On June 11th, 2019, Medic 1721 was dispatched to a private residence for a male with chest pain. On arrival, crews performed a 12-lead ECG and found the patient to be having a heart attack. The patient was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center for definitive care. On arrival at the emergency room, the crew was directed directly to the cath lab. While wheeling the patient to the cath lab, the patient went into cardiac arrest. Our crews initiated CPR and defibrillated the patient 3 times before converting him to an organized rhythm with a heartbeat. The patient successfully had cardiac stents placed and made a full recovery. Our survivor was not able to join us today, but we would like to recognize the EMS crew for the role that they played in the chain of survival. So please welcome from Richland Fire and Emergency Services, Pete Zakowski, Noah Bowen, and Darren Larpentour. All right, this is our 10th and final one. On July 26, 2019, Medic 2821, Engine 2813, Battalion Chief 181, and Medic 1721 were dispatched to a Pasco business for a cardiac arrest with CPR in progress. Engine 2813 arrived and began patient care. Engine 2813 utilized the AED from their fire engine to shock the patient 3 times. At this time, Medic 1721 and Medic 2813 arrived and initiated advanced cardiac life support. Our survivor was shocked 6 more times with a defibrillator before he regained a heartbeat. The patient was transported to Cadlick Regional Medical Center, where he went to the cath lab and made a full recovery. Our survivor again was not able to join us today, but we would like to recognize the EMS crews for their role in the chain of survival. And also, again, this shows the collaboration between departments here that we have, as it was Richland Fire and Pasco Fire as well. So from Richland, please welcome Brian Bowe. Your name's on a lot of these, Brian. Zach Gould and Zach Hannibal. And from Pasco, we'd like to recognize Christian Tenney, Pedro Loera, Garrett Jenks, Seth Rohr, and Michael Hodo. As we thank these gentlemen, I just want to read a few lines from an email that I actually got from Captain Seth Rohr, who's here today from Pasco Fire. It says, "We were very grateful for the help from our brothers. The consistency and cooperation in training is evident when 2 unfamiliar crews can come together to effectively and efficiently provide the care needed in a situation which is best described as organized chaos. We couldn't be happier, or we couldn't ask for a better outcome or a better group of people to have our back." So thank you. I thought that summed that up very nicely. Thank you. So that's the end of our ceremony. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. It's a really special day. Especially thank you to the survivors that were able to come. We really appreciate your presence. That being said, I'd like to welcome our fire chief, Tom Huntington, to the podium to say a few words and to bring the ceremony to a close. So, Chief Huntington.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
We live in a very data-driven world, and your Fire and Emergency Services Department is no different. We want to measure what we do for the community and be able to report back to our council and our community on the value that we can bring. So it'd be easy for us to say, for example, that we've doubled our cardiac survival numbers from 2018, more than doubled, from 2018 to 2019, and we're not even through 2019 yet. But as you saw today, those numbers are just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's really happening there. Because what's really happening there, as we improve cardiac survival rates in this community, husbands get to go back to their wives and get more time. And maybe dads or moms get to go back and get time with their kids. Maybe grandma and grandpa get more time with their grandkids. This is about the quality of life, which is our core mission at Richland Fire and Emergency Services. Protect and enhance the quality of life. We're just getting started. I want to express my thanks for the work that Captain Van Beek and Firefighter Smith have done in this program. Their passion and drive have made all of this possible. Firefighter Smith has worked nothing short of a small miracle with our hands-only CPR initiative. Battalion Chief Walsh is here. I've lost you in the crowd, Kurt. Has guided that and offered administrative support for that. Those from Clackamas who have gone before us, we could not be here without their help and support as well. But especially I want to point to each and every person here in uniform today and express my pride and my appreciation as your fire chief for never being satisfied with status quo. We can put all the programs in place, we can bring new equipment in, we can provide training. If it doesn't happen on the street, on the front line, in people's living rooms, and in our local businesses, this doesn't happen. We don't more than double our survival rates in a year without the effort and drive and commitment of each and every one of you in uniform. So if you would join me in expressing my appreciation, our appreciation and pride in these folks here in uniform today, and perhaps give them a round of applause before we wrap this up. We expect this to be an annual event. I hope those of you who are here celebrating survival with us this year will join us for the next event as well, and continue to celebrate the quality of life in our community. I just one more time want to express my appreciation for the support that we've received from Clackamas Fire, the effort and initiative of our own folks, and the work that is done out on the streets. And thank you everybody for joining us today. And mark my words, we are just getting started. Thank you.